DreamWorks last week dropped their new trailer for the upcoming new movie, Ruby Gillman, Teenage Kraken. Don't watch the trailer. Not because it's terrible, but it spoils the whole movie. But there are some issues with the movie that I want to personally get addressed. Mostly it's the design. Listen, I am all for exaggeration. It's where animation started, a staple of cartoons. But there is a certain genre that fits that exaggeration. The story of Ruby Gillman is that she is a quote-unquote normal teenager trying to fit in at her school, but her mother has forbidden her from ever going in the water. One day she does do it and she discovers she is an ancient descendant from a line of warrior Kraken queens who are the protectors of the ocean. They have sworn to protect it from the evil mermaids, and Ruby has to learn to use her Kraken powers to battle the mermaids. It's a cute premise. It takes the common trope of evil Kraken, good mermaid, and it flips it. It parodies Disney's The Little Mermaid in multiple references, and it's an original story, which is unfortunately hard to come by these days. But then, you look at the Kraken designs. They just look so off to me. Ruby only has 3 legs, she's an octopus. Why does she only have 3? Her grandmother has 5. Do they grow legs as they get older? And also, they just don't seem joined to their bodies right. Plus, they have octopus feet. She has toes, fingers, whatever they are larger than her head. I am aware it is exaggeration, however there is a limit. Especially when the movie is trying to take itself seriously. They are battling and fighting and it's supposed to be all cool, but you're distracted by the designs. How large their hands are, how thick the legs are, how small their head is. And if a design takes away from the story you're telling, it's not a good design. Another example in this movie is Chelsea, the mermaid, her final form or whatever the heck this is. What are these colors? I know she's evil, but you did not need to do her like that. And ironically, the one thing they did not stylize in this movie is the water. A massive part of the story. She's an octopus. They stylized the clouds, the trees, then it's the final battle, and Chelsea gets water hair. Cool. I love water hair, but it looks like this. The hair is semi-realistic, but is glued onto a cartoon body. It does not mix at all. And the fact is, it's an easy fix. Stop flexing your money, DreamWorks, with your realistic water physics, and just use cartoon water. It's not that hard, please. Also, everyone has the rubber hose kind of style. They have no bones and they wiggle wherever. I love that style. But honestly, it's a missed opportunity to just have the Krakens have that rubber hose style movement since octopi don't have bones. They actually do move like that. And having everyone, even the normal humans, also have the boneless look, it takes away from the uniqueness that Ruby could have had. Speaking of Ruby, why is she blue? She apparently has no idea that she's a Kraken. How? She has no nose, her hair is made of tentacles, her fingers are super long, and the biggest offender, she is bright sky blue. And Chelsea even says,
I know your secret. You're a Kraken hiding as a human.
Really? No, she's not. She's not hiding anything. And then she freaks out when she gets suckers on her hands. But you have tentacle hair. Anyways, the redesign. Disclaimer. I do not claim my design is fixing or better than the original. I am simply changing a few aspects with my personal preferences in mind for fun to see what Ruby would look like reimagined. If you do not like it and you prefer the original, good for you. First, Ruby's Kraken form. I toned down the exaggeration tremendously to fit the more serious coming of age with a Marvel boss battle at the end. I took off Ruby's random little fins everywhere since octopi don't have any fins and squid only have the 2 on their head. I based Ruby's redesign mostly on a mixture of colossal squids, the actual Kraken myth, and octopi in general. Her hair is made of tentacles like the original, but I put them up in a bun-like shape to mimic the large head sack thing octopi have, and also in her human design, you'll see later, I made her hair a bit shorter. And since her hair grows, which becomes a Kraken, I imagine that she wouldn't really like the long hair in her face all the time, since she's not used to it. Plus, she's in water where it's floating up everywhere. That would get annoying really fast. So, I have her put it up in a bun. Also, I gave her a little crown. The crown I made similar to the fins on Colossal Squid's head, and it also adds a little bit of visual interest to her head. Since she is essentially a princess, and her grandmother has a little crown thing, I think it would be cool if she gave Ruby a little crown of her own as a symbol of her accepting her Kraken form. I kept her larger ends of her limbs, but they are a bit toned down, and also, she has 8 legs! Well, I made her arms essentially little tentacles with thumbs, so I'm counting them too. She has 2 longer tentacles like most squid, but still only 8 legs like an octopus. I realized that having 10 legs like an actual squid would be very hard and tedious to animate, and also very crowded. So she has technically 6 legs and 2 tentacle arms, and so together 8. Her tentacles have the little webbing connecting in them to make her faster, like octopi, and squid little diamond-shaped ends. For her human design, I made her hair still have that tentacle-like shape to hint at her secret, so to say. But she has no nose like her Kraken self, so to hide that, she keeps a strand of hair across her face. Her eyes are also pretty far apart since it makes her look a bit more fish-like, which is like the opposite of Movie Ruby with her 3mm separating her eyes. For her outfit, I changed it a lot. Honestly, nothing's wrong with the original. It's just personal preference really, and I wanted to challenge myself. I kept her little turtleneck, but I moved the stripes from her leggings to her shirt to keep the more nautical theme, and to hint at her more stripy Kraken form. The jacket is very much oversized. It's actually a vintage captain jacket that would either be her father's, there's no mention of him in the trailer, or it's just something she found at a thrift store. And the baggy look is really a trend now, anyways. And she's got leggings to show off her bendy legs and basic Converse. She's a teenager. Okay, color time. I kept her purpleness, but I made it a little bit less magenta and more royal purple because it's a cooler color to match the ocean, and also she's a princess. Why not purple? Her pattern on her skin is inspired by like water patterns, like the waves on the top of the water, and also this cool squid I found with a cool pattern. The coloring of the pattern was actually accidental. I just randomly chose that color for my sketch because the ocean is blue, and it actually worked really well with the purple I chose. I love designs with varied colors, and also making her accent blue is like a nod to Ruby's original human skin. Her Kraken form is magenta. Why is her skin blue? And speaking of that, I made her human form skin actually a human skin tone. It still has a purplish hue and undertone to hint at her not being human, but at least now she has an excuse to be surprised when she finds out that she's a Kraken. She is bendy, but in my version she just always assumed she was double jointed, which ironically she has no joints. She's a boneless child. Anyways, her hair is just dark purple and the rest of her outfit is similar colors to her Kraken design. And yeah, that's my final redesign of Ruby Gillman from Ruby Gillman Teenage Kraken. Long name. I'm hoping that the movie is just suffering from bad marketing, and other than the designs, it's a pretty solid movie. I am hopefully going to see it when it comes out, and maybe some of the plot issues I mentioned are actually fixed in the movie. Also, I love this movie clowning on Disney. Hell yeah, DreamWorks. Okay, bye.